Hello. How are you today, Soul Aligned Self Care community? I'm just going to get started. Today is the first day that I'm going live on Instagram too at the same time as on here. If you don't follow Instagram, head over there. I'm at Tina Stinson Coach. And then also, the Soul Aligned Self Care podcast has an Instagram that I'm just starting out, and you can follow me there if you like the podcast. It's Soul Aligned Self Care. I think that's it. I don't think it says podcast. I think it's just Soul Aligned Self Care. So yeah, you should be able to find it. All right, let me start this live on Instagram. Okay, I'm live. All right. Hello, 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 everyone. I know I'm on here a little bit earlier. I was supposed to come on at 10:30, but my dogs are sleeping. They're really quiet right now. So just like sometimes little kids, you have to take advantage of the moment. And I was on here on Monday and I was talking about, um, how to step into your power and choose you, right? So when you start choosing you, things start to change. And a lot of times, this is a really good thing to look at in the new year because we set new goals, we have new dreams that we want to chase after. A lot of people reevaluate themselves in the new year. And if you haven't done that yet, um, you should do that. I just did a free workshop, an Inspire Goal and Dream Planning workshop where we did that. But that is all done now. That's actually going to be available to purchase at some point once I package it together. But it's really just about reevaluating the different areas of your life and, just kind of trying to plan and dream about how you want the next year of your life to be. And it's really that simple, okay? So today I wanted to come on here and talk about well, I'm changing the subject a little bit because I was talking about living with purpose. And this is sort of kind of the same thing, but it's a little more, what's the word? Narrowed down, I guess you could say. And now I'm talking about choosing yourself and what that means, first of all, how it's not selfish, and how it's one of the deepest levels of self care that you could do for yourself. And so today I'm going to talk about a couple small, tiny little steps that you could take. You know how I am about tiny steps. I'm like very, very tuned in to taking tiny steps consistently over time. That's how you make really big changes without really stressing yourself out, okay? And when you take small, tiny little steps to help yourself move forward, you gain confidence, you gain momentum, and those tiny steps aren't as scary as some of the big steps you think that you might have to take. So, oh, hey, what's up, guys? So today what I'm going to talk about is how to choose yourself, put yourself first, step into your power in this new year, and one small step that you could take. Very, very easy, okay? And I would love for you to like try this and then get back to me and see how it works out. Let me know how it works out. So in this new year, you might have some dreams and goals like I talked about, right? Or you might look at your life and look at some of the different areas and say, you could say, wow, this is freaking great. Everything's great right now. But you could say, maybe in this area I want to change things. This area kind of sucks. Or you might say, everything sucks. I want to change everything. Okay? And so the first thing that we have to do is kind of like realize that if we don't change ourselves, we don't change our behaviors, we don't change our thoughts, we can't really change the trajectory of our life. We're going to keep getting the same results over and over and over again, okay? And so we have to change the way we're doing things. And a lot of people find that to be so hard, or they don't know what to do, or they don't know how to do this at all. And I'm just going to show you this little trick right now. It's not going to take too long that will help you do this. And if you want this in writing version, it's on my blog at tinastinson.com. It's the most recent blog post that I made, and it'll have the steps in there and most of the descriptions in there so that you could have some kind of a record of it. So you don't have to take notes right now, okay? So look at the different areas of your life, first of all, and say to yourself, how is my health? How's my fitness? How is my career? How's my retirement? How is my family? How are my relationships? How is my love life? How is my spirituality? How is my self-improvement? How is my self-care? And you look at all those different areas, and I encourage people to set like big dreams and big goals. But what I want you to do right now is just really look at the kind of results that you're getting in those areas and whether you're happy or not. And then I want you to think about, well, what would make me happy? Like, do you even know what would make you happy? So just kind of journal out that. And for those of you who know me and watch me regularly, and I know I'm new at this on Instagram. I'm going to make this a regular thing on Instagram. I go live weekly like this on Facebook in the Soul Aligned Self Care community. And so I'm going to do this on Instagram too. So I'm very happy that I'm kind of like expanding a little bit. I'm also, all these videos get put on YouTube at the end of the day also, so you could find me there. So look at those different areas and really try to get very clear. And journaling, like I was saying, if you know me and you follow me, I always talk about journaling because I find it very, very, very powerful, journaling. And so if you don't journal, I'm going to encourage you to start, even if it's just a gratitude journal or even if it's just writing out the way you feel every day, whatever it is. Writing is just like, it's like a doorway to your soul. And so it's very helpful in figuring things out for yourself. So you look at these different areas, your health, your fitness, your, whatever, money, career, all these different areas. What's important to you? Okay, everybody's different. I almost knocked my mic over. So everybody's different. So then you're going to say, I'm happy here, things are shitty here, I'm happy here, this can improve. And then you're going to write out, if everything was perfect in that area, what would it be like? What would I want to experience? Okay. And so this is like the really fun part, I think, because you're kind of like dreaming and you're moving along. And then we're going to go into the steps. There's 3 steps. Okay. So, but first, before we go into the 3 steps, I want to encourage you to start putting yourself first. This is not selfish. This is self-care, okay? And when you put yourself first and you fill your cup and you take care of yourself on this level, you're just like showing up for yourself, okay? This isn't about getting your nails done or getting a massage or anything like that when I'm talking about self-care. And all those things are super important and absolutely lovely. I love doing them. But I'm talking about really going a little bit deeper and showing up for yourself and supporting yourself, asking yourself, how do I feel today and what do I want to get out of my life today? What do I want to present today? What do I want to share today with the world? Okay, it's really about getting deep down and supporting yourself on a daily basis. And I shared in my blog post about this creator on TikTok that I really liked, and I wish I can remember her name. It was just, I was just scrolling. Yes, I love scrolling on TikTok, but she said to herself, she wants to be in a relationship, but she's happy by herself. So she decided that she was going to date herself and treat herself the way she wanted to be treated at the highest level. And this is, some people might look at that and be like, that's weird or whatever, but I think that that's the perfect way to show up for yourself and create a good relationships with others, because you show people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. And if you treat yourself like the wonderful queen that you are, and you like show up for yourself every day and you take care of yourself and you give yourself everything that you need, people are watching and they're going to know the level that you live at, and they're not going to go below that level. You're kind of setting a boundary, okay? And so my encouragement before you start this is to begin to show up for yourself and ask yourself every single day, whether you take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to just take a few deep breaths and get centered into your heart and ask yourself, what do I need today? What do I need? Do I need rest? Do I need fun? Do I need excitement? Do I need quiet? Like, what do I need today? And give yourself that every day. Okay, it's very simple. All right, now I'm going to get into the steps. So the first step is you have to make the decision. Okay, just like I said earlier, deciding is one of the biggest steps that you can take. You have to like go deep and just be like, I'm deciding now that I want to change my circumstances. So what does that mean? That means I have to change something about myself, the way I think or the way I act or the way I be, the way I present myself in the world. I want to change, say you want to change your health. Okay, that's a pretty simple one to use as an example. Say you want to change your health, and right now you're eating a lot of sugar. Okay, very simple example. Or you're stressed out, you have high blood pressure, and you're drinking a lot of coffee. And so, what is one way you could show up differently? What's one little tiny little shift that you could make? And I'm talking small. We're going to start small because then you get success, then you get confidence, and then you get momentum, and you can celebrate, okay? You need those small wins, but it has to be consistent. So what's one small step? Like if you're stressed out, you have high blood pressure, you know you drink too much coffee, what can you do? Now, I'll share with you, when 2020 was, the year that it was, I started having like anxiety attacks and panic attacks. And one of the things that I did was I reduced my caffeine. I went online, I learned how to get rid of these anxiety attacks, panic attacks without medication. I wanted to try to do it naturally myself. And so I found every grain of information that I could find and I applied it. And one of the things was like, stop drinking so much caffeine. But what I did was, I didn't say, I'm quitting caffeine, that's it. What I did was, I kept drinking caffeine. I love the whole process of having my coffee in the morning and in the afternoon. But what I did was I slowly reduced the caffeine in my coffee. So I would do like, when I was making it, say I was using 4 scoops, I would do 3 scoops of caffeinated and 1 scoop of decaf. And then the next week I would do half and half. And the lowest I got was half and half. I just did half and half. And then I reduced my afternoon cup to just decaf completely. But I liked the whole process and the taste of coffee, so I kept drinking coffee. So you can see how I could have more success doing that than saying I'm quitting caffeine, going through the withdrawal, getting the headaches, feeling like shit, having no energy. I'm not going to stick with that. So taking those small shift, I made one small shift that made a difference that helped with my anxiety. It wasn't the only thing. I had to do other things too, but that was just one small shift that I took to change the trajectory of my life. So you could look at your life and you're here at point A and you look at point B and you're like, I want to go over there. Well, how can I get there? I can't keep doing the same freaking thing. I can't show up the same way. So I need to show up differently. So the next step is step number 2 is to look at the area of your life that you chose that you want to change and say to yourself, okay, what's one small little shift that I can make? Is it a mindset shift? Is it some kind of an action? Is it some kind of an action that I can take? Is it forgiveness? Do I need to forgive somebody? Is it um, just showing up as a more positive version of yourself? Is it something, some kind of a belief that you have to change about yourself? And so, like, think about the one small shift that you can make. And I'm going to share something very personal with you that was a very small shift, but it was very life changing, like life saving almost. And so, a lot of you who know me personally know that I was in a very long relationship that was extremely verbally and mentally abusive. And when you're in a relationship like that, you begin to lose touch with yourself and reality, kind of, you're being gaslit. And so you don't realize what's right from wrong, and it's really hard to stay connected to yourself. And so I was in this state, and I was very young, kind of new in this relationship, actually. And this person was saying things to me like, why can't you be like so and so's wife? And why can't you do things like that? And what's wrong with you? Why can't you be like that? And why can't you be like that? And it just like tore me down and tore me down and tore me down and tore me down. And I just listened to it. I didn't have that confidence. I didn't have that, whatchamacallit, I don't know, backbone that I have today. I would never tolerate that now. But I just listened to that and listened to that. And then one day, just something just clicked. Now, this was after years, like years of this. And so when anybody who's experienced that kind of abuse knows that after you experience this for years and years and years, it's so hard for you to like make a decision. It's so hard to know what's right from wrong because you're so gaslit, right? And so I think I just got to the point where I got a little fed up. I don't really know, but something just switched in me. And I said, well, I can't, like, and I didn't say this out loud, this was in my head. I said, well, I can't be like so and so because that's not me. And actually, I don't want to be like so and so. That's just not what I want to be in life. And then I was like, and if you don't fucking like it, then see you later. And that's when that was the beginning. That was a shift that I made in that relationship to help draw myself out of it. It took years to get out of it because I had 3 children, so it took a really long time. But that was the starting point, and it was such a small shift. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not, I don't need to be like anyone else because I'm me. And if this person doesn't like me or want to be with me, then don't be with me. And I finally just like set that boundary and I wouldn't tolerate it anymore or listen to it. So that was the beginning of the growth of my backbone. And slowly but surely, that's a turn off to someone, a person like that. And so gradually I was exited from that relationship, thank God. Okay, so that was a very small shift that I always say was life saving because it helped me get out of that relationship that was so horrible, that was getting more and more abusive day by day. So I call that a life saving shift. And after that, I started learning about boundaries and how to put myself first in order to put my best self into the world. And so that's kind of like a very deep, kind of serious shift that I made. But I wanted to like just want you to think about how it could be something that small that can like change the trajectory of your life so like hugely. Like that was a huge change that I made, and it was just a whole different path, and it was a return to the person that I was before I got married, and it was like meeting myself again, and it was just like this huge wonderful change. And so I want you to think of one small thing. Now this might be new to you and you might be like, I don't know what to do. Just come up with one small thing. Like so whether it's like maybe saying an affirmation in the mirror every morning, saying, you look marvelous. We're going to have a great day. Like, whatever, whatever you can come up with, just one thing that you're going to do differently. Test some stuff out. Like, instead of in the morning getting up and just having a cup of coffee, maybe putting something in your stomach first, having a glass of water, then having your coffee, because it's just better for your body, right? So, making one small shift. I remember trying this thing where, I was trying to increase my upper body strength because my legs are very strong and my upper body isn't as strong. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to do push ups every day. And so while my coffee was brewing, every day I did push ups. And I absolutely hated it because I wasn't awake yet. I just woke up and I got out of bed. So I had to change that really quickly. That didn't really jive. But these small little changes that you can make to just make yourself happier. Another example, and this is personally something that makes me very happy. And so I live by myself, and I love waking up to like a clean kitchen and like fresh coffee, right? But there's no one to do that. I can't train my dogs to do that. If I could, it would have been done already, absolutely. But I can't train my dogs to do that. So what I do is I try to make sure every night, I'm not perfect, to clean all my dishes. I hate doing dishes, and I'm notorious for leaving dishes in my sink. But I try to do this so I can wake up to a clean sink. And then I set my coffee pot, and I can set a timer, but I don't because I don't wake up at the same time every day. So I just set it all up. So all I have to do is walk in my kitchen and press that button. And that's one small change, or I should say two small changes that I made, change my whole morning. Because if I wake up and I go in the kitchen and there's a sink full of dishes and I'm like, ugh, like what a bummer. Then I have to clean the coffee pot and then make coffee. So it's this whole process. It's 20, 30 minutes before I have coffee. And I'm not happy. I'm not a happy person. So I just changed these two small things that make me, I feel like the queen. Like I walk in and I just press a button and then the coffee's done and everything's wonderful. Like so one small change, right? Two small changes, sorry. So these are just examples. Um, and then the last thing is to do it. Like that's it. Those are the three steps. Decide, make the change, and do it. Of course, doing the journaling before you get started and trying to figure out what you want is very important also. But those three steps, decide, right? Figure out, so think about it, what you want to do. What are the changes you can make, and then do. Decide, think, do, or decide, create, do, right? So those are the three steps. Now doing it is just a matter of, because any type of a new habit, you're going to forget. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or you're procrastinating or you don't want to do it. It's just not the normal reactive thing. So I make these changes by writing about it in my journal every morning. And journaling is a habit that I made for myself that I enjoy. Sometimes I do it in the afternoon. Like if I wake up and I wake up late or I need to be somewhere, I'll do it in the afternoon. But it's better in the morning because it like helps me start my day. And I ask myself, where am I at today? What's one small shift I can make to support my goals and dreams that I wrote out at the beginning of the year? What's one small shift? What can I change that I'm doing to get a different result? And I ask myself that every single day. So write that down. What's one small shift that I can do today to change the trajectory of my life. And that's it. That's how you can show up for yourself in this new year. So start doing that. Let me know the results that you get. If you need help with it, always reach out. You could private message me. I have some private coaching packages, some really good. I have a Voxer coaching package right now that's on special until February 14th. But what I really want to tell you before I go is I want to share with you my book club. Right now, we're reading the January book, which is Positively Wealthy. Such a great way to start the year because the author's name is Emma Mumford, and she goes through 33 different practices to add to your life to support like abundance in every area of your life. And so I think that's a great way to start the year. And so I'm encouraging you that if you want to join along, you can join us in this book club. There's 3 different tiers. I do it on Patreon. It's a podcast style book club, meaning I actually read parts of the book to you and I go over the steps, and then there's other things that go on in this book club. So I'm just going to share with you. There's 3 levels. One is like $5, one's 11, and then the last one is 25. So what you get for free when you follow me on Patreon is my podcast and my blog posts. If you at the $5 level, you will get the book club podcast and you read along with me. You'll have access to all the books we read already, which is, I don't know, 7 or 8 books, I think now. And you could listen to all those recordings as long as you're a part of the club. You'll get bi-weekly personal blog posts talking about things and the reactions to the book. And then you'll get weekly journal prompts every week. So now if you're at the $11 level, on top of all those things, you get a free meditation every month, okay? For those of you who don't know, I do a lot of work for Aura, and I create meditations for them. Aura is a meditation app and a coaching app. So I do a lot of recordings for them. So I'm creating a meditation that I'm going to share with you at the mid-level. And the top level, which is 25, I'm writing a book this year, and I'm going to be sharing with you the steps that I'm taking as I'm going through the book, along with some pieces of the book. So you'll be getting like readings and recordings of the book. And that's it. So if you want to join the book club, if you're watching me on Instagram, there's a link in the bio. I would love to have you. It's a very inexpensive way to spend time with me and work with me on a more deeper level. And it's a lot of fun. I love the book club. I love reading. All the books that we pick are kind of like self-development books. And so we kind of stay in that realm. We don't read a lot of other types of genres, right? So we kind of stay in the self-development. And so it's great because you could get the book and actually read it and then follow through and go through the steps and stuff like that with other people. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, for those of you watching me on Facebook, I will put the link down below in the comments somewhere so that if you want to join us, it's not too late. We are on day 9, I believe. And so you could easily catch up with us and join us. You could join anytime and have access to the whole book. Okay, I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. If it's helpful to you, please share with somebody else. I would love for you to reach out to me and let me know how it worked for you. Okay, until next time, I'll be going live every Wednesday on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm getting all these notifications. So I will see you next Wednesday. Love you. Bye. Goodness.